And so Matangini Fale was very well known for doing what we call hiapo, perhaps in English, or the term that many people might know as tapa cloth. And so Matangini Fale was a well-known hiapo artist. She was known to create beautiful hiapo. She'd come from the village of Avasele. What she was also known for, she would hang down at the local beach nearby to where she stays, and that she would do some hiapo making, but also she would sit there and she would sing. She would recite things, and as we have with the sea and the water, there would be fish. And so the story says is that Matangini Fale is said to have allocated various colors to the fish. She's the one that painted, the fish, their colorful colors. And obviously, as we have around, particularly reef fish, we see reef fish can be very colorful. And so Matangini Fale, through some of our stories, is that she would sit there, she would sing songs, she would entertain the fish, and she would give them their, beautiful colors and the stripes and the patterns on their bodies. There's perhaps a side narrative to the story that one time a shark came, and for whatever reason the shark and Matangini Fale got into an argument or something. And because Matangini Fale was allocating beautiful patterns and colors to the other fish, and her and the shark weren't friends that day, she sort of cursed the shark and said, "Oh, you're not having you're not having beautiful colors." And so most sharks are, sort of this dull grey, white sort of thing. So all the other fish, that Matangini Fale blessed them with these beautiful colors, but the shark didn't.
This is a long one, so bear with me. Bear with me. I'm only telling the parts that I really remember anyway. It's been a long time since I heard it, because it's a story of a making of one of our nobles, our very high noble. There was a period of time when this is ancient time, even we ourselves considered ourselves in the story as savages among ourselves. It was just lawless. If I accidentally walk past your chicken or kick your chicken, I guess I'll come and kill you. If I accidentally topple a case of something on you, I would just murder you or something. It's just lawless. Everybody was just doing things to everyone, stealing and killing or pillaging whatever. Our ancient high spirit, god of thunder, from the top of the sky, he said, our life on earth is not as it should be. Should be peace. The people should be thriving. But no, they're killing themselves. I will send one of you to earth to get them together again as one people. And that son, he merged into a durian. At one point, the durian became so big, it just fell to the ground, and this couple found this durian, massive durian. Dian in our language anyway. When they opened the durian, it was a baby, so they named that baby Dian. Even at his young age, people receive him as a leader in the making. People are attracted to what he says. So as he grew up, he would go from longhouse to lovehouse, affirming how we should treat each other, how things should be. He was beloved. Everybody loved Dian because he brought peace, he brought prosperity to everyone. Here's it gets a bit interesting now. Might get this wrong, I might get this right. When he felt he was almost done with his mission in life, among kind people, right? So he felt that I'm gonna go travel. Even within his travels, he did a lot of astonishing things. Well, most astonishing is that he actually went down the river and met the Bruneian princess at his time. And your classic Prince Charming and Cinderella, they got together, the princess got pregnant. And then the Sultan of Brunei at that time said, "You have to marry my daughter." The people back at the Kayan territory were saying, "We cannot have our leader to go away from us. We love him, we miss him, we need him back." Well, he grew old with his people, so when he was about to die, in his terms, he was going back to his real home, which is Ubong Do. When I die, my body will disintegrate and all that's left of me is going to be my skull and my teeth. I want all of you, my son, to give this among yourselves. Keep it to use as your pangaro, as in charms. Till this day, there's that actual teeth of his, like every piece of it, his descendants still have it with them. Every one of them If you want to know a true blue blood Latindian, you can find the people who has his teeth. So that's his story. Yeah.
In the Cook Islands, we've got lots of stories that's been told to us as children. A standout one for me is about a farmer called Ati. He planted taro, bananas, the coconuts and all that. But as his plantation was starting to become ready to harvest, he noticed that, things are starting to go missing. Somebody's already started to take his food. He notices that the crops, his taro's being taken, bananas are being cut. So he decides to sleep on his plantation just to see who's coming through. He stays one night, and sure enough, this group of people come out and they're all moving quite swiftly and getting all the crops, and he notices it's being led by a woman. But they come out from a well of water. He's like, who are these people? He's never seen them before. So they take and they disappear. So he decides he's going to try and catch one of them. The next night he does the same thing, but this time he has a net. He's ready to catch this person. Sure enough, they come back out again, and then he chases them. He catches the main person. She's called a momoke. Momoke are people from the underworld. So he catches her, questions her and says, what are you doing? Over time they end up falling in love. But the momoke knows that this is not a life that she can live for a long time, and her people would be looking for her. Things might happen to him, and she now has feelings for him, has a child, and eventually she can feel this calling that she needs to go back home. And of course, Ati is from the world above, so he needs to breathe. So as they attempt to go into her world, Ati doesn't make it. The momoke and the son disappears and they're gone. Ati comes back and he's heartbroken. He's sitting there crying his heart out, but she never comes back, and he ends up living on his own and just lives a life of despair. They turned this into a musical, and so there's some beautiful songs that come out of this folklore. It's about family, it's about love, it's about our environments, our culture. That's one of the stories that stick in my mind today.
Te pakanga o ngā maunga, the Battle of the Mountains. I love this one. And there were 5 mountains, 4 men, 1 woman, and these 4 mountain men were fighting for the love of this female mountain. Tongariro, Ngauruhoi, Putauaki, and Tauhara. And they were fighting for the affection of the female mountain Pihanga. As the battle kind of raged on, the eventual winner was Tongariro. She sits in the front, closest to the lake, and he sits slightly behind her, and there is a lake between them called Roto Poinamu, the Lake of Union, or the Lake of Treasure. Now, the story kind of doesn't end there. In Tauhara's case, he was the last standing, but because he was so wrought with grief, as he got to the other side of Lake Taupo, he looked back to admire Pihanga one more time, and he decided to be the doorway to protecting her.